Welcome to Bitcoin 2021. This is the conference of conferences, the first one back since the pandemic. So many people, so much energy. It's kind of like Comic-Con meets the Olympics meets the World Cup. Over 20,000 attendees, thousands more in town, 1,000 plus companies, 150 speakers, and the best speakers I've ever seen. We got incredible access to see, to hear, to interact with the top names in Bitcoin and blockchain. From Michael Saylor to Max Keiser.
We're not selling! We're not selling! Fuck Elon!
And then of course the mayor himself, who wants to make Miami the capital of capital.
We truly understand what it means to be the capital of capital. It means to be the capital of Bitcoin.
We then saw Pomp, who recently moved to Miami.
It's the best place to live. Why would you live in a place where the government is against you?
And Mr. Wonderful, who claims that he's now a big believer in DeFi.
But now I'm making money with DeFi.
There was Jack Dorsey from Twitter.
Bitcoin changes absolutely everything. And what I'm drawn to the most about it is the ethos, is what it represents.
The Winklevoss twins from Gemini.
So we still think it's really early. We think Bitcoin's gold 2.0. It will disrupt gold, so its market cap has to be 10 trillion or more, because that's the market cap of gold.
And a whole lot of real world celebrities, people like Tony Hawk. Even Floyd Mayweather was here, ahead of the big fight.
How I got to where I got to, it all started with a dream.
Plus, the star of Entourage.
We need to start looking at new ways of exchanging value with one another that is not centralized, not controlled by gatekeepers.
Jack Mallers, everybody!
And to close out the conference, a huge and emotional announcement by Jack Mallers from Strike and the president of El Salvador, collaborating together to put Bitcoin on the books and sending a bill to Congress to make Bitcoin full and legal tender in the Central American country.
I believe Bitcoin could be one of these ideas. That is why next week, I will send to Congress a bill that will make Bitcoin a legal tender in El Salvador. In the short term, this will generate jobs and help provide financial inclusion to thousands of
Lots of massive headliners, but first was actually just getting into the conference. There was a mile-long line wrapped around the block. Well, we're here for the Bitcoin conference, full of Lambos, here in Wynwood, Miami. Previously a no-go zone, today home to the biggest Bitcoin conference in the world. Now, you guys know that I've been covering conferences for many years. I've never seen anything like this. People have been lining up for hours. Welcome. How you doing, man? How you doing? Excited for the conference?
Team, baby.
Excited for the conference?
Hell yeah. Very excited, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Amazing, good to be here. So we're walking around.
How are you, man? Good to see you. Go Bitcoin. Let's go. Bitcoin Conference 2021.
The conference has been going for about 2 hours already, and people are still lining up to get in. This is going to be the biggest conference in the world. So guys, are you excited?
Oh, I'm so pumped for this.
Are you bummed with Elon for crashing the markets?
I hate Elon. I'm selling all my Tesla stock and converting it to Bitcoin.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Really?
I am. I'm the rest of your day. Good to see you.
Come on, guys. 3, 2, 1, let's do this.
Oh, yeah!
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, man.
Excited to be here?
Hell yeah, man.
This is your first conference?
Yeah, second conference.
Second
Went to
conference.
the last one, yeah.
Amazing, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
It's coins, you know. You gotta give in the one through Bitcoin.
Oh, come on. Maximalism is so last season, bro.
Is it? I don't know. It seems like it's every season.
There is a maximalism season. It's usually when things are down, right?
No.
I mean, come on. When is maximalist season? When things are down.
No.
When things are up, everybody's talking altcoins and stuff like that. When things are down, Bitcoin.
Altcoins trash.
I didn't realize you were a maximalist.
Yeah, you did. Okay. It's the only way to fly, man.
Time will tell, right?
Welcome to Miami.
Welcome to your homeland, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Very excited to be here. Erica, you founded or started the Miami Blockchain Center. You've been a big proponent of Miami blockchain scene. How's it going here now?
I mean, look around us. It is huger than ever before. I mean, the number of companies that have grown here, it's growing faster than Bitcoin itself.
Incredible what the mayor's done. Well done to the mayor. I mean, what a gift he is.
Yeah, seriously, he's the best.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you and enjoy the conference.
So as you can see, it's business as usual here. No masks, no one's wearing masks, no more COVID. the first real conference where people are getting together physically. And there's this buzz of energy, as you can see, of people doing things, doing deals. Now, this is all mainly Bitcoin. I haven't seen any Ethereum, I haven't seen any Cardano. This is very much a Bitcoin conference. Adam, how are you?
Dude, Ray, what's up, brother? Good to see you straight out of South Africa, this guy
This is my friend Adam. He's a Bitcoin maxi. Well,
I'm the Bitcoin Meister. I love
Meister.
Bitcoin is number one. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. That's how I define myself right there.
Brother, so good to meet you. So good to see you. Wait, so as you can see, there are booths of people, booths of businesses, all showcasing what they're doing to the over 20,000 people that are here to see it. Most people here are pretty new to the blockchain. So what it shows is it shows how much the space is growing. I've never ever seen anything like this. Just look at the energy, look around you, look at all the buzz that's going on. This is Bitcoin 2021. First up, Max Keiser and Mike Saylor sat down for a fireside chat, which was, well, anything but cozy, which is no surprise since Max Keiser was on stage. And he was really giving it to Elon Musk for his tweets against Bitcoin.
We're not selling! We're not selling! Fuck Elon!
After the fireside chat, we caught up with Michael Saylor backstage, and then we caught up with Max Keiser in the media lounge. So Mike, it's your 1 year anniversary of buying Bitcoin. Has this been like the most amazing year of your life?
Yeah, it's my rookie year. It was quite a whirlwind year, but I'm glad to be moving into my sophomore year.
Amazing. And you said something on stage which got us. You said Bitcoin is the most efficient use of energy that the human race has ever come up with. How do you justify saying that at a time when people like Elon Musk are talking about it being destructive, so to speak?
Well, I think people just don't understand. It's a bank in cyberspace, and you're securing $800 billion of assets with $4 billion of energy. We've never come up with a more efficient use of energy.
And when you watch Elon Musk tweeting, and I'm not sure if you do speak to him or not, because you've told me millions of times that even if you were, you wouldn't tell me. But is it calculated, or do you think the guy like just wakes up and has this like impulse that he needs to tweet something? What do you think is like a bigger game plan underneath all of this?
I think we all have our own tweeting style, and Elon is being Elon, and that's his style. My style is Bitcoin.
So good to see you again, my friend. Thank you for all you're doing.
Max, my friend, so good to see you again at the
Ran.
Bitcoin conference.
It's awesome,
Vaccinated, ready to go.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm vaccinated against shitcoins. Right? I took a special shitcoin vaccination. It prevents me from being tempted by the likes of Ethereum or any of these other shit coins, and I feel very good about that.
You know, Max, like I said to you, in every bear market,
yes,
I agree with you that Bitcoin is the only coin.
Yes.
In every bull market, I don't agree with you at all. I think that it's all about the shit coins.
Well, that's what you're known for, Rand, to be a flip-flopper and to go with the flow. Shit coins are hot, there's Rand. Shit coins are not, no Rand. That's very consistent. That's what we love about you.
Look, I'm not going to debate with you because we'll be here all day if we start talking about shitcoin.
True.
Bitcoin.
What else can we talk about?
Let's talk about your talk today with Michael Saylor.
Let's do it.
Are you guys friends outside of conference appearances? I mean, do you speak to him on a regular basis?
No, I don't speak to Michael Saylor on a regular basis, and this is the first time we met in person was backstage before we went on stage, and I just know him from, like everyone else, his public experiences, his TV appearances, his Twitter account. So I feel like I got to know him a little bit, and that's it.
What do you think of him? Having interviewed him today, I realized one thing I took away from the interview was that his company was not down and out, but down, and not doing amazing things. And Bitcoin was a great opportunity for him to do something that he loved, to change the world, and to actually at the same time uplift his company and his staff.
That's what I was very curious about, to ask him about the company and Bitcoin, and he's been a CEO for over 20 years, and his company was doing fine, but it was considered to be like a small cap stock. I think the valuation was maybe $2 billion. And he got the Bitcoin bug, and it was like this rebirth. And the way you see it is amazing because the things that he says are poetic, they're philosophical. And they're coming from a place you don't really expect to hear from a CEO. And so this all comes from Bitcoin. And it's quite fascinating.
So Max, let's shift the attention from Michael Saylor, the poet, to
Yes.
the other poet,
To
Elon
the
Musk.
putts. From the poet to the putts.
The poet to the putts. Do you think that Elon Musk's tweets are calculated, or do you think they're completely impulsive?
I think like every couple of years we get some new knucklehead to come in there and try to derail Bitcoin. You know, Warren Buffett was negative in 2011. You have Peter Schiff trying to be negative. You have, Nouriel Rubini. You have Paul Krugman at the New York Times. The bum of the month club.
Amazing. Max, last question. Now you've seen a lot of Bitcoin pullbacks in your life.
10 years.
10 years, you've seen all the pullbacks.
Yes, all the major pullbacks. 15 major pullbacks in 10 years. I've been part of them all.
How does this one compare?
Average.
Average.
It's like the number 9th of 15 in terms of size. So it's right in the middle. It's just an average pullback. There's nothing terribly exciting about it. And I'm still holding to $220,000 per coin in 2021 as my target.
200?
And 20,000.
20,000?
In 2021.
Now, this year?
This year, yeah. In the fourth quarter, we could see a quadruple. In the fourth quarter, a quintuple.
Max, my friend, so good to see you.
Quadruple or quintuple, Max says? Well, we'll see. Meanwhile, his double or duo took the stage with Antti Pompliano, and we caught up with Ant backstage and outside along the conference's graffiti wall. Listen to what he had to say.
So after a long time, I'm meeting my friend Pump here at Bitcoin 2021. Pump, long time, my friend.
How are you?
Amazing, man. I see we're both relocated here to Miami.
Yeah, it's the best place to live. Why would you live in a place where the government is against you?
Well, that's what I kept saying when I was living in New York. That's why I came to Miami.
Yeah.
Pump, these Elon tweets, this shit that's going on with Elon, is it like calculated, or is it just the guy wakes up in the morning, gets an impulse, and starts tweeting?
I don't know, honestly, obviously. But I appreciate Elon Musk. Elon Musk continues to tweet things that continue to push the price down so that I and the rest of the plebes in Bitcoin Nation can buy up the Bitcoin cheaply. So thank you, Elon.
But aren't you running out of fiat? I mean, you once told me that like 90% of your money was in Bitcoin.
96.
96. So where are you getting all this fiat from?
Well, it's called income, right? You make more money, so then you can convert it. Because if you hold the money you make in dollars, then that's not a good situation.
Okay, but on a serious note, do you think that there's a bigger game plan with Elon, or do you think that it's all just fun and games?
I think Elon is just like the rest of us. He wakes up and he wants to have fun. And when he tweets, he thinks it's funny, and he's probably laughing. And then he goes about his day building rockets and electric vehicles and tunnels and computers for our brains. And then he comes back to his phone and he goes, I feel like being funny again. And he tweets something else. And so you're not gonna rationalize with somebody who isn't trying to be a rational person. He's having fun. And so when you look at it through that lens, sure, it has an impact, but he's not trying to be malicious, I don't think. I think he literally thinks it's just funny.
Okay, fair enough. I guess then you think that this is just a temporary dip in a raging bull market. I mean, do you think that we're at the end of the bull market? Do you think that we've seen like the highs and now we're back down for another crypto winter? Or do you think this is just another like glitch and in a month or two we'll be back in the raging bull again?
Obviously, I don't know what's going to happen with the price. Nobody knows for sure, but everything I see from the underlying fundamentals suggests that the bull market is much more likely to continue.
So I look at the on-chain data. The on-chain data shows that weak hands are selling into strong hands. Those Bitcoin are now going to disappear. The number of active accounts is growing faster than it's ever grown. And that there's nothing fundamentally broken about the market structure. I mean, is that your analysis of it?
Yeah, nothing has changed. So if weak hands are selling strong hands, the price is going to keep going up.
Yeah.
Simple.
I guess. Now, one more question, Pump. When we spoke in 2017, 2018, you were a Bitcoin man. It was all about Bitcoin. There was nothing else. I tried many times to tell you that you should be looking at Ethereum and other things, and you told me it's all about Bitcoin. Now, fast forward to 2021. Still all about Bitcoin?
Of course. Bitcoin is the only project that is going after full decentralization. Everything else is competing on technical innovation, faster throughput, cheaper fees, developer tools, all that stuff, and that's fine. But I just choose to focus my time on the thing that I think is most important, which is full decentralized payment system. And I think Bitcoin is the winner there.
So does that mean that in your fund, and I know you've got your own fund now, does that mean that you don't make any investments that are not Bitcoin related?
We make investments, so something like Sovereign, for example, is decentralized finance on top of Bitcoin. Now, the beauty of that project is that it's interoperable. right? So I'm not necessarily a maximalist in the sense of like everything else is going to zero, everything else is going to be completely useless. But what I choose to focus my time on is Bitcoin. And so some of the things that we invest in, right? If I invest in the equity of an exchange, they support Bitcoin plus other things. So it's not an anti-stance or anything. It's just supportive of Bitcoin.
But when you see things like NFTs and you see things like DeFi, surely you look at this with your Bitcoin lens on and go, hold on a second, if I'm Bitcoin maximalistic, I'm not getting the benefit of NFTs, I'm not getting the benefit of DeFi. I mean,
but this is the big misconception. Bitcoin is the most popular DeFi application in the world. I'm more of a DeFi investor than most of the people who claim they're DeFi investors. Because guess what? Bitcoin's also the only truly decentralized system. All the other stuff is sort of decentralized, but they've made compromises and trade-offs to get faster throughput, cheaper fees, but they are not as decentralized as Bitcoin. So in a sense, Bitcoiners invented DeFi, and Bitcoiners are bigger DeFi investors.
What about NFTs? What about NFTs? I mean, surely you're watching NFTs and you're saying, yeah, NFTs is one of the biggest revolutions in the world.
A year before it became hot, I came out and I said digital art's going to be massive, right? But I don't see that as a protocol. I don't see that as competing on innovation. It's art. Like,
but the platform is Ethereum, the platform that enables all this.
No, it's not. The largest seller of NFTs literally said Ethereum does not work for us, and when they created Flow. They completely left, and that's what's happening to Ethereum. Ethereum is going to be the MySpace of this space. If anything is, Ethereum likely will be, because what ends up happening is they're competing on technical innovation. And so what happens is there's a financial incentive to give up decentralization and get more and more centralized, create more efficiency, lower cost, and more throughput. And you're already seeing it. Binance Smart Chain came out of nowhere and took transaction volume, and developers started to run there because it was better serving their needs. Now it's more centralized, and so there's a trade-off, right? But there's no binary world. It's all trade-offs. And what ends up happening is that developers, what we see in smart contract world, they don't care as much about decentralization. They care about faster throughput and lower fees. And so they're moving to these other platforms. And Ethereum still has a lot of opportunity to improve ETH2, all this stuff. I'm watching it all. But right now, it's up in the air who wins the smart contract wars.
All right. Pump, my man. So good to see you, brother.
From a new Miami resident to a native here. Here's Miami's mayor, Francis Suarez, opening up the conference and why he wants to make the city not just the capital of capital, but also the capital of Bitcoin.
The mayor of the Mecca of freedom, Mayor Suarez, come on out here.
I only wish I could wait for the thousands of people who are standing out there to come inside to hear my speech, because I want everybody to hear this. For me, this journey of trying to create the Bitcoin, blockchain, and mining capital of the world happened long before I uttered the tweet heard around the world, how can I help? And while 2.7 million people saw that tweet, they didn't know that many years prior, I was on the Florida Blockchain Foundation, was named to the Florida Blockchain Task Force by the CFO of Florida, and of course, we opened our very own Miami Bitcoin Center. And what I didn't know was that the portal of positivity that I stumbled upon in Twitter, yes, there does exist a portal of positivity in Twitter, on December 4th, would take me on a journey to discover the transformational importance for my city of leaning into Bitcoin to make Miami a technological leader in the world. And so the journey began with a simple challenge and a simple connection. I got to host Anthony Pompliano, Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss, Charlie Shrem, and so many others on my Cafecito Tech Talk, and got a chance to meet Brian Armstrong and Fred Arsham. They helped guide me along with the Bitcoin community into understanding the power that mainstreaming Bitcoin could have on our city and on our world. And then came the Balaji Challenge, to see who could put the Satoshi white paper on our government website first. And we were first in the country. We were first because we want to be first in promoting and building this generation's technology. We were first because we understand that in an experiential world, people are looking for the best in terms of quality of life. We were first because we understood the transformational advantage of being a first mover in an ever-increasing tech world. And we were first because in this city, we truly understand what it means to be the capital of capital. It means to be the capital of Bitcoin. And we didn't stop there. We understood that to truly believe, we had to integrate and take risks. So I asked my city commission to allow our city to pay our employees in Bitcoin, accept Bitcoin for fees and taxes, and even explore the possibility of holding it on our balance sheet. And some still doubt, some still question, which boggles my mind. And so I point to the deliverables. FTX, which provided $200 million for the naming rights of what was corporate America. And that provided funds to combat gun violence in our community and to provide summer youth jobs program. Just this week, we announced the headquarters of blockchain.com, one of the largest blockchain and crypto trading platforms, which created 300 new jobs and $30 million of recurring economic impact for our city. Sorry, not so sorry, Los Angeles. It's a movement for Miami like it's a movement for Bitcoin. And the counter narratives on Bitcoin will equally fail. Yes, the US will become a powerhouse for clean energy Bitcoin mining. Yes, Bitcoin will transact faster and at a stable price point, and ultimately proof of work versus proof of stake will be decided. So, of course, there are still unresolved issues related to regulation and how governments will formulate policy without controlling currencies. And those issues, I am confident, will work themselves out. But in the end, there's only one thing to do: buy the dip. Thank you all for being in the city I was born in. I'm the first mayor of Miami, born in the city. I love the city. It courses and runs through my veins. And what I love about the Bitcoin community is the enthusiasm, the energy for innovation, and that's something that's going to define our city and our world going forward. God bless you. Thank you.
From one headliner to another, we caught up with Mr. Wonderful himself. He took the stage talking about the Bitcoin FUD and the ESG FUD. Can it be solved? That's the big question.
All right, welcome back, everyone, and I'm here with Mr. Wonderful, and I've got so many questions for you. I can't even begin to tell you how many questions I got for you. And that's because I watched all your old stuff about Bitcoin and how against Bitcoin you were and how against crypto you were. What is the turning point? Because there was a turning point somewhere.
Well, just for the record, I bought Bitcoin in 2017, around July, and Ethereum at the same time. Those are the two coins I held from the beginning. But when I talked about it in the media in 2017, I got a barrage of concern from the regulator. At that time, they were not flexible, and they were sending out lots of warnings about, talking about Bitcoin, because I work in the highly regulated financial services industry. I have many investments in financial services companies, and the compliance departments were saying, you got to stop talking about Bitcoin. That was then. And then all of a sudden, 18 months ago, regulators in Switzerland, Germany, France, England, Australia, Canada opened up the regulatory environment, and indeed now you've got the first ETF in the Canadian market trading. So I felt that we got to a place now where I could disclose that I own a 3% weighting in Bitcoin. And then a lot of other stuff started to happen around sustainability, ESG, all of these issues. And I've become an advocate to trying to solve this problem because I'm an investor. I have many investments in cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin.
Now, this ESG thing, even though Elon Musk is now at the forefront of it, I think you brought it up before, and you started waving the green flag before and saying, look, we want sustainably mined Bitcoin. How much of a big issue is it in the big scheme of things?
It's a huge issue, and I'll tell you why. The way that the institutional investor has become structured is that in the sovereign funds, the largest pools of capital in the world, and the large federal or state pension plans, the people I work for, they have two committees now. They have a sustainability committee on top of the investment committee, so that every asset class, not just Bitcoin, any asset class has to go through the filter of sustainability, then gets allocated by the investment committee. So think about the problem of that. If they think, and they do, that Bitcoin is not mined sustainably, it doesn't even get purchased. It doesn't make it through the first filter.
Is it a Bitcoin problem or is it a crypto problem? And the reason why I say that is, Bitcoin is proof of work. It's highly inefficient, so to speak. But Ethereum and Cardano and all the other chains, which are proof of stake chains, those are green almost. I mean,
yeah, except that there is only one Bitcoin. It is the gold standard for digital investors. The institutions do not consider it a currency. They consider it a property. They're not going to buy it and trade it. They're going to buy it and never sell it. So they want to know that the coin they buy was mined sustainably so that they do not go offside with their sustainability committees. And so the value of a coin that's mined green is very, very, very valuable. And so institutions now are looking for opportunities with the 2.5 million coins that still remain to be mined. They want to own those coins, the ones that they'll have the provenance of, that they'll know with certainty were mined sustainably. And as far as Ethereum goes, Ethereum may not be the gold standard in the chain because it may not process transactions fast enough for DeFi. There's many other alternatives to Ethereum, so it's not the same as Bitcoin, which is a property. So I'm telling you, the institutions are going to want one thing, Bitcoin. The reason I hold Bitcoin is I know, at least I think, it will beat the equity index for the next 30 years.
so the price is being suppressed because, particularly because of this ESG FUD, so to speak, or this ESG concern. Is this a buying opportunity? Because we know it's going to get solved. Bitcoin is very resilient. It keeps getting attacked and it keeps coming back. And this seems like it's going to be solved at some point.
Yes.
Would you say this is a good entry point for companies that believe that the ESG problem will be solved?
I believe they will be solved, but I look at it this way. I don't trade Bitcoin. I own it as a property. What I do now, though, is I actually use DeFi to garner yield from it. I lend my coins out in smart contracts. I make between 4 and 9% interest. The more volatility, the better for me, because I'm never a seller. So I don't care if somebody tweets something that loses 30% of its value. I'm not selling then, and I'm not selling if it goes up 30%, but I'm always using the volatility as an opportunist to mine yield. I get paid in stable coin. I can go back to fiat if I want. I say bring on the volatility because I'm not a seller, but now I'm making money with DeFi.
So you're talking about DeFi, does that mean that you're an Ethereum bull? Because ultimately DeFi sits on Ethereum, right?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm looking at some advanced chains now that could be faster in transactions than Ethereum, so I'm not going to say that yet. But what I am a fan of is decentralized DeFi, but I've made my bets on both central and decentralized because I don't know who the winner is going to be. I prefer less friction in terms of fees, and you're only going to find that in a decentralized platform. If you go to a centralized platform like a wallet, a commercial wallet, you're going to pay 200 basis points. Why do I have to pay 200 basis points just to hold an asset? It makes no sense. So if I use that as a ramp to buy it, then I can move it over to a decentralized platform, and I'm investing in both. To me, we're at the beginning of a really, really interesting asset class, and I think it will eventually become 20% of what I own. Because I look at the thesis of diversification being 5% in any one stock, up to 20% in any one sector, and digital is a sector to me. So I am doing a lot of bets. It's like a horse race. I don't know which jockey's going to win, so I'm betting on 4 or 5 horses in a field of 10.
You talk about it becoming 20% of your asset allocation. What percent of your mind space allocation is it now? Like, I know you're involved in a lot of things, but what percentage of your mind is in crypto right now?
That is the first time I've been asked that question. It's a very good one. It's 80% of my time.
That's what I thought.
I am doing so much due diligence on so many deals and so many commitments I'm making. You're right, it is, and I'll tell you why. I don't see anything with a bigger opportunity than this. This is an amazing opportunity. We're at a nascent time. Every single foreign currency is going to be digitized eventually. And the digitization of this is going to be a really interesting business model. So I want to be part of the companies that provide the infrastructure for that digitization. I've got some very eclectic, people I've invested in, and my attitude about all this is find me the craziest entrepreneurs, the really far out nut bars. I'm going to put money with them. I want, the digital cowboys. I don't know which ones are going to win, but those are the guys I'm betting on. The men and women that are just so crazy that you have to ride with them.
What about NFTs? I mean, I know that you're a collector. I see that you're a watch collector. I know that you're an art collector. What about NFTs? Has that bug bit you yet?
I'm looking at 2 NFT deals right now. I'm going to get involved because of, as you say, you know, I buy a lot of art. I see no reason not to buy NFT art as well. I haven't done it yet, but I'd rather own my own platform to store it. So I'm going to buy something down to 2. I may invest in both of them, but I really see a huge opportunity. It's a really fascinating space. That's why I'm looking at it like everybody else.
Mark my words, the path to mass adoption of Bitcoin, of crypto, is not money.
Yeah.
It's cool, limited edition shit.
I agree. Listen,
Wants to own that.
I'm not disagreeing, but I think what's going to happen over time is we will explore these different verticals. I will definitely be an investor in many of them. That's what I do. I invest. And so, but I hedge my bets. I do multiple investments. Because it's never the one you think that's going to work that works. It's always something else. You want to have more than one bet out there.
Mr. Wonderful, well, he's a newer addition to the conference team. A veteran, though, is Tim Draper, and he joined us to talk about some price predictions that he's pretty famous for.
Tim, what's it like to be back at a Bitcoin conference with people around you, with energy, face-to-face?
It is so great to be in the free country of Miami.
It's incredible.
This is amazing. I'm just so thrilled. 60,000 people, a lot of activity, a lot of forward-thinking people. This is as exciting as it gets. And after that horrible year we've had, I couldn't be happier.
You're an early investor in Tesla,
Yeah.
and you're an early investor in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And now there's like this Tesla Bitcoin.
Oh, that's funny.
I mean,
Look, Elon's one of the most brilliant and amazing people that we've ever had on the planet. I think he was on the right track when he said, you know, we should be accepting Bitcoin and we should put it in our treasury and it should be a part of us. And then I think he got some weird influence, and I don't know where it came from, that told him that somehow that it was not good ESG. It turns out Bitcoin is extraordinary ESG. The bank, all the banks use a lot more energy than Bitcoin does, and Bitcoin over time will use less and less and less. But for now, it's actually created more energy, more green energy than any other vehicle anywhere. People do Bitcoin mining with solar panels, with wind, with geothermal, with any number of different kinds of energy. So we're going to be very well prepared with a lot more energy, and so I think he was misguided, but he is such a brilliant man.
So you've always been a Bitcoin bull. You've always had the best price predictions. You've always been optimistic. This is your 50th Bitcoin correction. I take it nothing's changed.
No. Here's what's really interesting. If you have a system of trust, you build a great economy. And if you have a system that has freedom, you build a great economy. The U.S. has had trust and freedom for many, many years. It turns out you put trust and freedom together and you get Bitcoin. The proof, if you need proof that freedom builds a great economy, you just look at Korea. They have a demilitarized zone between South and North Korea. The North Koreans were all government controlled, socialist, communist system, and the government decided what everyone had to do. And then South Korea was a democracy. It was capitalistic, it was a free market, free speech, and now 70 years later you see South Korea with 460 times the income of North Korea per capita.
Wow.
And the average South Korean is now 4 inches taller than the average North Korean. It's been 70 years, 4 generations. And in trust, you look at what Lee Kuan Yew did with Singapore. He took the least trustworthy, poorest country in the world, and he built it up to become probably the most trustworthy and one of the richest countries per capita in the world. So you put those two together and you get Bitcoin because you say it is completely trustworthy because it's algorithms that are operating and deciding, you know, what's going on and off on the blockchain.
Let's talk about the price. So you've had many corrections in your life. You've seen many corrections. How does this correction feel relative to all the other corrections that you've seen?
it feels like there is less and less volatility over time, and I expected that to happen.
So it doesn't feel as scary. It doesn't feel as...
No, in fact, I think when people say, isn't Bitcoin volatile, I say, well, wait, no. There are only 21 million Bitcoin out there, and that's all there will ever be. It's the dollar that's very volatile as it slowly disappears from use. And if you're an entrepreneur and your choice is, do I build my business to get a whole bunch of Argentinian pesos or Nigerian naira or even US dollars, or do I build it to gain real value and have a real store of value for what it is that I build? So I actually believe that this being such a great store of value, Bitcoin is inspiring entrepreneurs everywhere to build businesses to grow their Bitcoin, their ownership in Bitcoin.
Amazing. Tim, thank you so much, my friend.
My
so
pleasure.
Good to see you.
Good to see you again.
One entrepreneur that's Bitcoin inspired is Yoni Asya. He's the CEO and founder of now publicly traded company Toro, with a heavy crypto focus and explosive growth.
Yoni, so good to see you, my friend. Now you're definitely my most successful friend. Now you've done the SPAC thing, you're listed. How's it been? How's the journey been?
It's been an amazing journey. We've been talking about democratizing investing and the intersection between social media and social networks and trading and crypto and stocks. And suddenly in 2020, we saw this huge surge in the demand of retail investors worldwide. I think generally waking up to capital markets, to the stock markets, then this crypto rally 2.0, which is bringing us here with 50,000 other people into Miami. So really a perfect storm of stocks rally, crypto rally, and sort of social trading, and being the largest social trading network in the world, sort of picking up globally, has really been an exciting journey.
How's your life changed from running a private company in Israel, so to speak, to now, now you're at the center point of the world?
We've grown from opening monthly average of 192,000 accounts every month to now over 1 million registered users a month. So Q1 this year we added 3.1 million registered users to the platform, which is mind-blowing. After last year was 100% growth, adding 5.2 million registered users. So just in Q1 we added 60% of the entire of last year.
Okay, let's talk one more thing. When I met you in 2019, you said to me, I just realized there will never be another alt season.
I was wrong.
There was another alt season.
I was wrong.
Is there going to be another alt season?
Probably. Now I'll say probably yes. First of all, we're not in a bear market
Why don't you think we're in a bear market? I mean, technically, all the moving averages have been
Yeah, it's very simple. How many people are here in Miami?
60,000.
We're not in a bear market, Ron.
I agree, but...
That's it, the community is live, it's kicking. Bitcoin is still high for the year. A lot of cryptocurrencies are still up. I'm surprised, by the way, altcoins changed. And remember, when I talk about altcoins, I don't talk about the big blockchains. I don't consider the top 20 altcoins or big blockchain altcoins.
Altcoins or shitcoins?
I talk about the sub 100 million market cap, 500 million, the ICO craze that we saw in 2017. I thought that would not repeat because a lot of people lost a lot of money on the lack of corporate governance, right? So IOs said, okay, there is a corporate governance problem here. There's a moral hazard here. Let's have Binance and the exchanges try to regulate this. That sort of picked up a bit, but wasn't strong enough to centralize. Then IDOs came in and did something interesting. It created corporate governance on chain for a lot of these projects. Does it mean that the token economy works? Not necessarily.
Yet to be seen.
Yet to be seen, but does it mean that they can take your money and run? Potentially no. So it's a better control over the project if done well, and using, you know, DAOs, governance on chain. So a lot of the technology fixed some of the problems with ICOs.
How worried are you about a general stock market crash now, which will obviously take down every asset, including crypto? That's my biggest concern at the moment.
I think that in a bear stock market, crypto will actually rise. That's my view. I think at the end, crypto is an uncorrelated asset class. So if you would open up the newspapers every day and for a very long period of time stock markets go down, eventually people will go into crypto as a safe haven, because you need something that generates value over time. And people need to have that sensitivity and the gut to not sell when the markets are down. Because if you do that, don't go into the markets in the first place. HODL is a very good statement for the stock markets as well.
Johnny, thank you so much. So good.
Now, let's toss it to our Miami correspondent, Vincenza, for a look at what's going on the conference floor. Take it away, V.
BTC 2021, we're in Miami. It's been such an amazing turnout. Over 15,000 people have shown up over the last 2 days, and we're still going. This is day 2, and there's a lot more to look forward to. Let's get started.
Community, everyone here has like the same shared vision.
Miami is going to be the next Silicon Valley.
The global reception of Miami as the destination was extremely positive.
Yeah. And I was really interested in the tech world, in Bitcoin, in crypto. And in here, I've been connecting with people and just learning.
I heard the mayor. He sounded really pro-Bitcoin.
What's your experience been like so far?
It's been fun. Very entertaining meeting a lot of people that I interact with online pretty much for the last couple of years.
Cool.
Putting faces to names and just meeting some cool people.
The enthusiasm's crazy. It's like next level. The line around here was, I mean, I've DJed at big festivals before and shit. Like, I've never seen a line like that.
Right now we're down in Miami for the Bitcoin conference. It's an amazing, amazing event so far.
I'm at this Bitcoin 21 conference. I love what you guys are doing here, and I need to be part of it.
Amazing to see so many Bitcoiners together. I mean, 12,000 people, I was not expecting that at all.
I've been involved with Bitcoin since 2013, starting with mining, and only since it's become popular, I've been able to make that a part of my legal practice. This conference has been amazing, and I can't think of a better way to do things for Bitcoin and for the crypto community.
Well, it's been awesome. I got a picture of Michael Saylor. I met a lot of rich people, millionaires, and there's a lot of things to do here around here. I got a new painting.
We've been working with our mayors, who's very receptive about empowering the locals of using crypto. So that actually accelerated more for companies to soft land in Miami.
What's this?
So this is our NFT art wallet that if you go ahead and scan this QR code, we'll go ahead and give you an NFT art wallet.
So much fun. Everyone's exchanging as much information as possible, so the networking game is lit.
Also good to see, like we said at the top of the show, is non-crypto names. People like Tony Hawk, Floyd Mayweather ahead of his big fight, and Adrien Greene from Entourage.
So this is the one person I didn't think I'd see at a crypto conference. What brings you to a crypto conference?
And why not?
And why not?
No, I'm very forward thinking.
So are you looking for anything in specific here, anything in particular?
Well, look, I'm invested in Bitcoin. I believe in it as a future of finance, and so I wanted to win, obviously, but not just for my finances, but also for more philosophical reasons. I think we need to start looking at new ways of exchanging value with one another that is not centralized, not controlled by gatekeepers, but is more one-to-one, interpersonal.
When did you discover this? When did you become a Bitcoin man?
A lot of people in my circle were ahead of me. They've been telling me to get into it, and I was a little bit more cautious. But over the last year, I've gone in heavy, and I'm like really excited about. And I'm not daunted by the dips. This is a long-term play. This is gonna roll out over many, many years. So I'm excited for the future.
So I know you say you're not daunted by the dips, and I hear you, but surely when something goes from $60,000 back to $30,000, surely as an investor that doesn't come from the space natively, That's like quite like, whoa, hold on a second. Stocks don't go down 50% in a day.
Yeah. Change is uncomfortable, but I don't see it as a stock. I see it as an alternative form of currency, which will take time to be implemented and take time for it to be adopted. The pioneers crossing America, they didn't have 365 days of sun. They had some rainy days at the times, and you have to roll with it until you make it to the other side.
For me, I think that NFTs are going to change the world. I think that NFTs are the biggest things that ever happened to the world. Second to Bitcoin, NFTs are the biggest thing that happened to the world. Because I think everything is going to be an NFT one day. Do you share that view that every bit of art, every bit of identity, everything that we own is actually going to have a digital certificate?
I mean, we could get into that philosophical conversation. Are we all going to upload ourselves to some, avatar space? Possibly. I still like physical art personally, although I do really enjoy what's happening with NFTs. It's interesting, curious.
Tell me about your new fund. You told me that you launched a fund, or you have a fund, an impact fund. Tell me about the fund.
Yeah, so we're starting a fund called Do Contra Ventures. We're an impact fund, and we're focused on yields beyond money, YBM.
Wow.
Okay. Remember that, YBM, yields beyond money. I think we really need to start looking at the deeper value and what it means to be alive and to be together on this planet. So we're looking at really the immeasurable, the things that are just outside our calculators. Of course, we're making money too, but first and foremost, we're looking at the impact of the companies we invest in. All in, it's a net benefit for society, for humans, for access, for people who don't have an opportunity to participate in the world economy, and also eventually environmentally it will get better.
Great, my friend. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
So that's our coverage of probably the biggest week I've ever seen in crypto. It was massive. All here in the city of Miami, and all believing that this industry hasn't even started. Stay tuned for more coverage like this.